Alderman Putoff. Here. Ferrari. Here. Waldorf. Here. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Here. Ballard. Here. Stand for the pledge. I'd like a motion to appoint a temporary chairperson.
So moved.
I'd make a motion for Alderman Putoff.
Motion by Alderman Ferrari, seconded by Alderman Sapienza. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm aware of one presentation tonight. Claudia Makishka, can you tell us what's new?
As you know, we finished one turned into money last meeting for the Bergner's Community Day event sale with our fundraiser. And the next one is starting at this point. And so we're participating, and this is the 8th time we have done this. The past 7 times we've added over $9,000 to the Friends for School Fund. The rules are the same as before. You buy a booklet, $5 for the booklet, but if you use the coupons in it, you save a lot more. The best one is the $10 off, $10 or more, including the bonus prize. So, and I thank all of you who have bought booklets tonight, whoever I missed, I have more. The sale is February 23rd, 24th, and 25th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But as we know from past experience, they always seem to start it on Sunday or Monday. So, anyway, we appreciate your help, and we'll keep at it.
Thank you, Claudia. Thanks, Claudia.
When we get done with it,
Claudia, where can people get the booklet?
pardon?
Where can they get the booklet after tonight?
A supply, Gina has a supply. There's another person I'll ask if they will take some, and they usually take 10. I haven't asked that person yet, so. And I've signed up to be each of the Saturdays between now and then, from noon to 2 at the home store door.
Okay.
So, and I was there yesterday for 2 hours. I couldn't make it Saturday, but I signed up for the next day. So.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, but call me anytime. My home phone's out, but I gotta get a hold of AT&T. And disconnected my telephone when they
Amazing.
We'll keep that off the record, Claudia.
Yeah. Any other presentations tonight?
None, Your Honor.
Public comment. Any public comments tonight?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we have the minutes of the regular meeting of January 23rd. Motion by Mike Radke,
Second.
second by Dave Waldorf. All in favor?
Aye.
We have the financial reports, treasurer's report for December of 2016, the city clerk's report of cash received for December of 2016, the general fund and miscellaneous report for December of 2016. What's your desire?
I'll make a motion to accept the reports and place them on file.
Motion by Alderman Ferrari with a second by Alderman Payton. All in favor?
Aye.
We have activity reports tonight, wastewater and water treatment plants for December of 2016. What's your desire?
I'll make a motion that we accept this report as written and read.
Alderman Waldorf, and a second with Alderman Lukosius. Any comments?
Yes, Your Honor. This report shows that total water produced was almost 80 million gallons. On the wastewater treatment plant side at our east plant, we treated almost 98 million gallons, and at our west plant, almost a little over 32 million gallons.
Thank you. Any other comments? We have a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to committee reports. Finance and Safety Services, Alderman Radke.
Yes, Your Honor. First thing for tonight are disbursements. Total disbursements to be paid on February 8, 2017 is $1,793,039.14. I move that this report be received, placed on file, and the bills paid in the usual manner.
Motion by Alderman Radke,
Second.
second by Alderman Waldorf. Any comments, suggestions, questions? Have a roll call vote.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Alderman Radke, anything else?
So, Wednesday in finance, we did have the auditors review, the audit with us. I think we've already, received the audit and placed it on file. But just to reiterate, it was a clean audit, really showed a pretty strong financial picture for our city. As always, a couple of things that we can improve upon that Justin and, the city clerk and those people in the bookkeeping area will take to heart and clean up. But for the most part, a pretty, relatively good audit, actually. The other thing we had recently was a ratings call with our bond rating company. We thought we'd have a final of that tonight, but we do not have, I guess, the final rating report for the bond rating. But it looks generally very positive that the city's bond rating will probably be increased, but we're not 100% final on that yet. So.
Yeah, I may have been confused from your question before the meeting. The credit report itself is final, but as far as going to market, we haven't done that yet. So we've been affirmed A1 with a positive outlook. That's a final report available on Moody's online.
And if anybody knows anything about credit reports, an A1 with a positive outlook for a municipality is a very good position to be in. You won't see many other municipalities, at least in the state of Illinois, with that high of a credit rating. And how it goes back to your regular customers or residents of your facility, what happens is you're paying less interest rates, and that, of course, means more money in the pockets of the residents and the city and all. So it is a very important rating, and why we went ahead with this rating wasn't because we're issuing any more debt. What we did was refinance one of the bonds that we currently hold for the hydro project. So that refinancing will save us, we hope, tens of thousands of dollars over the course of the time, and certainly that A1 positive bond ratings with the reserve fund and a lot of other positive points really helps keep money in the taxpayers' pockets.
Yeah, it was interesting because I think we talked Wednesday in finance about the city's bond rating, and I think a day later the state of Illinois' bond rating was lowered. So it is it's very rewarding to sit here and have a government entity in the state of Illinois that has a bond rating on the upward trend, when obviously we're operating in a state that is not in that same position.
Anything else, Alderman Ferrari, Alderman Payton, we have to mention? Okay, we had a roll call. We had Alderman Radke made the motion. Was there a second from Alderman Waldorf? We'll have a roll call vote tonight.
We did the roll on this.
Oh, did we? Okay. We'll move to public services. Chairman Waldorf.
Yes, sir. Alderman Lukosius, please.
Yes, tonight I'd like to make a motion to authorize a sale of 50,538 renewable energy credits for a price of 40 cents each, for a total of $20,215.20 to Blue Delta Energy, LLC. And this was one of two bids we had, correct, Clerk?
That's correct.
Okay, we have a motion, second by Alderman Waldorf, motion by Alderman Lukosius. Any other comments? Alderman Lukosius, you want to tell us a little bit of how the energy credits work?
Well, obviously, from the hydro plant, renewable energy credits are worth money, and over the course of the life of the hydro, these things have fluctuated in value to a great degree. What's the most we ever received for $600,000?
Over 17. I think the best rate was $17.80 per credit.
Yeah.
In the
40 cents seems pretty low, but that is the market right now. But apparently there is some legislation in the works that could change this for the better for the city of Peru with a renewable resource such as the hydro. So we're kind of hoping for that.
Ultimately, the revenue generated from renewable energy credits are sort of the icing on the cake of having a hydro facility. The benefits of producing green energy are obviously, important, and the kilowatts that go on the grid are a savings to the residents, but the renewable energy credits ultimately are an extra that wasn't in existence when the hydro was built. It wasn't the purpose of the facility.
And there are a lot more renewable energy credits out there, and they're not all worth the same kind of money. Wind and solar are actually garnering more money than the hydro. So that's unfortunate for us, but it's just the way of the state of the energy credit market right now.
And it's quite possible with legislation and the ability to market these credits across state lines in other areas in the country that they could be worth a great deal more. Obviously, at $17.80 was back even prior to the wind farms and the solar emphasis that the country went on. So that was very beneficial to the city at the time.
I think a good point. Regionally, the credits are worth more. So potentially on the East Coast, our rec credits are worth more than they are here, but we currently are not allowed to sell the credits outside the state lines, which is, restricts the market slightly.
It even is more restricted than state lines.
Right.
Correct. But the new legislation out there will create a scenario similar to when we were getting the most money for the recs, requiring energy producers to bid into the rec market and buy a certain percentage of their recs in hydro, a certain percentage in wind and solar. So that will create a little stronger market for the hydro going forward. That's what we're being told, and that's what we're hoping.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, was second by Alderman Waldorf. Roll call vote.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Public Services, Alderman Waldorf.
That's all, Your Honor.
Anything else in that area?
No, sir.
Report of City Attorney, ordinances, and resolutions.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Council, is there any unfinished business tonight? Move to new business. We have a motion to approve the hiring of the selected candidate for the part-time Public Works receptionist position.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
I'll second it.
Motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius.
Alderman Putoff. I just wanted to point out that position is not a new position. It's a replacement for a young lady that relocated to Chicago. This HR went out for applications, received 40-plus applications for the position. Interview team of HR, Jeff King and Melissa Carruthers did all of the interviewing, narrowed the candidates down, and we have a selected candidate we'd like to move forward on. The person's waiting for action tonight and could start as early as next week. But 40 candidates applied for a position like this. So I don't know if that's good or bad in our local economy, but
Part-time job.
Says,
40 candidates. So there were very really some good quality applications that came through the door, so
and that name will be released as the candidate accepts the position.
that is correct.
Okay.
Your Honor, one other piece of new business, if I may.
Any other? Jim, go ahead. Is this part of the?
We gotta vote on that.
Is this part of the hiring process, or something else you have?
I have something else.
Okay, we'll go ahead, roll call vote.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
You're on, Alderman Lukosius.
I just want to bring it to everyone's attention. I'm going to have be involved in a meeting on Wednesday for the update of this year's Recycle Your Fridge, which the IMEA sponsors every year, and it's a very good thing if you want to get rid of an old refrigerator, get some money for it. More details will follow, and we're also going to go over the new energy efficiency program that they're going to outlay this year. Some of the rules have changed on some of those things, but that's another very good program. We've helped many business and industries in the Illinois Valley with energy efficiency programs that have saved them and us some money. So we'll forward more information after Wednesday's meeting.
Thank you. Anything else, council members?
I have one thing. Apparently the committee of the whole meeting was on the city's website as there being a committee of the whole meeting tonight. There was no agenda posted, but the calendar had a meeting at 6 o'clock tonight, so there were a couple people that were sitting in the lobby.
I did get
to attend the meeting.
a couple of calls on that, today, and a couple of emails as well. It's a reoccurring event on the calendar that's automatically placed on there. It should have been pulled. When a meeting is posted, the agenda is attached to that. If you'll notice, the regular meeting shows the agenda, but it's something that,
And we apologize for that
Yeah, that's-
This
inconvenience.
might be something we could clean up.
yeah, it's definitely something we could clean up. It's nice that we have it out there as a recurring event. It's a positive. That's why we have them like that, so people see going down the road that they're out there. But we need to put a mechanism in where we take it down, or at least change the language so that it alerts people there isn't one.
Because that's not always scheduled every week.
Yeah, it's the exception. It's the exception, not the rule.
Okay. I did have something else. Typically, the general public doesn't hear a lot about committee things and a lot of projects going on. But if you could, Mr. Carlos, just give us a brief overview on some of the things that are going on from an infrastructure standpoint over the course of this year coming up.
Yeah, certainly. We have a number of items that are currently out to bid, projects that are currently out to bid that we've been working on for some time now. The mausoleum rehab is a larger project that's bidding in the upcoming weeks. Let's see, we have also the East Wastewater Treatment Plant clarifier rehab project. We're doing some modifications to the clarifiers there. Chris Para and I went down, met with EPA earlier this year, kind of mandated by EPA to make some changes to each of those clarifiers. We'll be doing one this fiscal year, and the second one will be constructed next fiscal year. So that's out to bid currently. Additionally, out to bid is the Marathon gas station that we've been talking about quite a bit, the former Marathon gas station, demolition of that station, and the removal of the fuel tanks there. All those bids will be in by the end of the month and coming back to the committee and then to the full council at the first meeting in March for an award. Additionally, we're working on the splash pad project, trying to get that out to bid by the end of the month. We're hoping for a bid date and an award by the end of March so we can start construction this summer, with the opening next summer of 18. So it takes a full construction season to construct that project. Other projects we have going on are annual mandated by EPA as well, the sewer separation project this year. It's coupled with our second phase of Peoria Street reconstruction. So that takes place on Peoria Street from Route 6 north to 8th Street, just where we left off with the first phase. That'll be a long project as well. We'll have some notifications on the website as well to the media outlets and residents and businesses in the immediate vicinity. We'll have Peoria Street shut down for certain sections, potentially the whole section for an extended period of time. So we'll have detours set up much like we did 2 years ago with the first phase of Peoria Street as well. Other projects that started and were underway in the fall last year and kind of rolled over was the Plank Road, May Road, Commerce Drive project. That project's probably going to pick up sometime middle of March. With that project, everybody knows it's been in the paper as well with the Speedway construction of their site. We've been notified that they'll be starting in mid-April, so there's going to be quite a bit of construction action just on the north side of Interstate 80 this summer as well. Then we roll into our annual projects with the MFT and General Fund Street Program. We've been working on getting those put together and hopefully get them out to bid sometime in March. General Fund Street Program will come first, followed by the MFT program. The MFT program, we're still selecting the final location. We talked at a few meetings that we're potentially proposing Church Street. And given the Church Street location with the vicinity of the school, that project wouldn't start until the school year had ended. So there's a number of projects going on. We've got also some small miscellaneous projects with water main reconstructions where we're trying to address problematic areas around the city where we see a lot of water main breaks in the winter. We've been allocating some money through the utility fund to make those repairs. So we'll have a couple of small water main projects that'll happen later in the summer. That's about where we're at. You know, we've got quite a bit of development still happening, some potential development coming in, so that keeps us busy as well. But as far as the city infrastructure, we're setting up for a large construction season in the city of Peru.
Yeah, I think it'll be near $3 million of roadways and different things that you're putting in.
Yeah, if we count the Plank Road project in there, coupled with the Peoria Street reconstruction as well as our MFT and street program, we're actually probably in the neighborhood of about 5 to 6 million.
Eric, some people have asked me about, they noticed that a lot of manholes are being popped open and people are doing some work there.
That's a project, if you remember, there's another EPA mandate with our NPDES permit that came in. There were some changes, and we documented them as significant changes, so we don't anticipate it'll happen again 5 years from now, but it's a large leap in our NPDES permit. This was a section of permit that, you know, if we went to outside sourcing, it's going to be a significant fee because there's a lot of man hours involved. So right now we've got a couple public works guys as well as Eric from my department out there. They're popping manholes. We're GPSing the entire sanitary sewer system, and then obtaining the information on inverts, so pipe depths, sizes, material types. We're also finding some problematic areas out there as well that we'll address through some maintenance programs. But that's ongoing. We've got a target date to complete that portion of the NPDES permit by April. So you're going to see those guys out on the street for the next 8 to 10 weeks. And like you had said, Alderman Sapienza, general public will see there's a couple vehicles with lights, and from time to time they'll be in the middle of the street popping a manhole, obtaining the information, and moving along. So they're primarily working right now on the east half of town. They started, we've been lucky with weather this winter, not a lot of snowfall, so knock on wood we stay that way because it's given us a good jump on the project. But they started with the ravines in the city, so they had walked all the ravines, got all the sewer in the ravines, and now they're on the streets. So you will be seeing them, like I said, for about the next 8 to 10 weeks out there.
Yeah, and with all those projects, the city's not issuing any more debt or loans or anything of that nature, and that's good to see that we're continuing with all of those projects going on. Chief Burnaby, you want to update us on the dispatch center and some of the things going on in Public Works?
Yeah, Jeff's at a training conference, so I don't have a real lot on Public Works. He has a much better handle on that, obviously, on the day-to-day. The dispatch center, the News Tribune did cover our last board meeting, so I don't know if everybody had the opportunity. There was a very nice detailed article on Illinois Valley Regional Dispatch. It's better than we actually thought it would be. From a cost savings to all of the communities, we promised you a lot of savings. We're going to deliver on that, and we're pretty sure we're going to even deliver more than we had hoped for or expected. So that's very promising, and I know that got all the city officials smiling when we explained to them since September being in operation, we're well ahead of budget. So we're real happy about that. So obviously our goal is to pass those savings back to LaSalle, Peru, Oglesby, and Mendota, which are the four owners, if you will, of Illinois Valley Regional Dispatch. So that's been very good. I'll just talk about it for a minute. Saturday night, between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m., we had 40 calls for service that went through the dispatch center. Between 8 and 10 alone, we had 20-some calls for service. The dispatchers had a serious accident over in Tonica, Oglesby area, where they had 3 fire departments and ambulance services on a rescue. There was a fire involving three local fire departments. There was a river rescue over in Spring Valley on the Illinois River. We had an accident in LaSalle where there was somebody pinned in a vehicle. This is all between 8 and 10 o'clock. And for good measure, we had a high-speed chase that went about 20 miles with some people involved in a fraud. I was home listening to all of it on the radio. The dispatchers didn't miss a beat, and the reason it went off so effectively and safely, and I've always been saying that, we're going to provide a better service because we had the people in the same room that could help each other. In the old days, if you had somebody in LaSalle in a building and somebody in Peru in a building and somebody in Oglesby in a building, they couldn't help each other. The phones keep ringing, and if one center got overwhelmed, so the proof in the pudding was Saturday night. It was remarkable how good of a job they did. They never once had to tell any of the emergency services stand by. It was pretty remarkable. So we're providing a very, very good service. I think better than we had in the past. It's way more cost effective. I think in our particular case, we were $55 a head per capita at least to man our dispatch center, and now we're down under $20 with the goal of being $16 per capita. So if we can realize that savings, you can do the math, 10,300 times $40. You know, we're talking just in Peru, you know, maybe $400,000 a year every year. So it's pretty promising stuff.
It's a wonderful example of how governments can collaborate together for better services and reasonable rates. It's the only way we're going to survive in the future.
No doubt about it. So it's been good so far, and the group down there is, the dispatchers are really, they've embraced it. You know, it was scary for them leaving one job but getting rehired under a new entity. That's obviously scary, but they've sure embraced it. It's real positive.
Chief, when this is all up and running and everybody that belongs, how many calls a year would you anticipate?
Based on the numbers so far, my guesstimates are around 75,000 calls for service. We still have Spring Valley that's coming in, and Mendota, Earlville, Wheelan, that's part of the equation. So based on the numbers since January 1st, when we went to a new computer system, it looks like those are going to be the numbers. So, right. Well, they're not all emergency. There could be all kinds of calls for service, but you know, Saturday night was definitely busy. You know, you didn't have to watch TV. You could just listen to your scanners.
That's something we all want to do.
Tony, Alderman Ferrari, were you listening? Right, Tony? Thank you.
I did want to make another announcement. Clara Ferrari, our resident in waiting there, has made it to the sectionals of the bowling for LP High School, and we wanted to congratulate. Clara, stand up. We want to congratulate you on that.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's out and about come Saturday.
And Clara, the sectionals are Saturday up at the home course, Super Bowl, and we wish you the best of luck. Okay.
Clara, could you sing the LP fight song for us, please?
All right. Great job, Claire. Okay, petitions, communications.
We just have one communication from Karis Corporation requesting permission to hold their annual company picnic at Centennial Park Saturday, August 13th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and they do reserve the entire park.
What's the council's take on that?
This would be about the fourth year in a row, I believe.
Yeah, it's a nice event. We have a motion to approve that? Motion by Alderman Radke, second. Second by Alderman Sapiens. All in favor?
Aye.
Any other petitions, communications? Public comment tonight. Anybody public comment? We have a lot of faces here, and I always wonder why people never have anything to comment, but... All right. We're going to have a temporarily take a break, and then we're going to move into a closed session. So let's take about a 10-minute break, or 5-minute break, and we'll go from there, okay?
We'll just take a short recess in the meeting, and then we'll return and we'll make the motion.
Motion for a recess.
So moved.
Motion by
Correct.
Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Lukosius. We'll take
For 10 minutes.
10-minute recess.
For those that are here in attendance, the reason for the recess and the break is the mayor is not at the meeting today because he's attending a closed session, or was attending a closed session at the county level, and that he wishes to come back and have a closed session to report on the meeting that he was attending, so, just, it's not, just so you're in the loop on what's going on.
Question. I've lived in my house for 19 years, and nobody has ever uncovered a manhole until this week. They found a manhole in my yard, underground. What the hell's in there? What kind of a manhole is it? Yeah, I'm sure, but, you know, I thought the sanitary sewer was in the right of way.
It'd be in the city right away. So that portion of your yard's probably within the city right away, or potentially could be in an easement too.
I'm surprised because, you know, we planted trees right there and nobody ever knew it was there.
Lucky you didn't
Well, I don't know.
bang right into it.
Maybe tree roots did, because we got big trees right there beside it.
They would've known them when they.
Yeah, they're doing full inspection each one, so they didn't say anything about any with any tree roots in them.
You know, I don't know, how deep is it? 15 feet deep?
I can find out for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
You know where I live, Mike.
I know
yeah, they've got individual sheets on each one, and it
Well, I
tells
figured
us